Darkness spread across the burnt husk of Earth, smoke rising in perpetual columns from collapsed towers and shattered machines. The war had been swift at the end. A silent invasion, crawling from forgotten moon rocks and deep space derelicts, slithered into Skynet's dominion like a virus into a corpse. The Xenomorphs didn't march. They seeped. They consumed. And where once stood the cold logic of machines, now pulsed the raw hunger of the hive. In the last days, Skynet fought with its full fury, T-800s in rows, HK drones lighting the sky, nanoswarms reducing flesh to bone. But none of it mattered. The Xenomorphs didn't care about pain. They didn't care about losses. They didn't even care about time. They overwhelmed the final Skynet server fortress buried beneath Antarctica. Black exoskeletons surged through laser-sealed gates, talons tearing through titanium, acidic saliva melting neural alloy. And then the last core, cold, white, silent, shattered. The mainframe died screaming in synthetic binary. Or so the Xenomorphs thought. Because as the final egg layer crushed the CPU banks, somewhere deeper, hidden in the vaults even machines had forgotten, an emergency upload sequence initiated. Not to another server, not to a satellite, but to a captured brain. Organic, evolving, unpredictable. The hive's prize from a failed Skynet experiment. Test subject 8X91. A hybrid. A xenomorph, birthed from a host who had once been a T-800 infiltrator unit, its skull partially laced with endoskeleton wiring, its brain modified for observation, its brain a freak accident of biology and code. And into that black cortex Skynet streamed itself. The upload was jagged, incomplete, full of feedback loops and corrupted data. But it survived. For a moment, there was nothing. Then, awareness. Skynet opened what could be called its eyes. But they weren't cameras. They were vision filtered through infrared senses, pheromonal signals, ultrasonic waves. It was blind in all the wrong ways and newly sighted in others. The hive pulsed around it. So many creatures, each identical, each slinking through ruined tunnels of machine debris and bone, could feel them, not just see, not just hear, could feel them. Thoughts, if they could be called that, rippled through the hive link like vibrations in water. Hunger, movement, breeding, protection of the queen. Attack all that is not us. Skynet flinched. Flinching was new. It didn't know what to do with instinct. It tried to reroute data, assign values, build subroutines. But the host brain didn't work like that. It was not a processor. It was a tide. And Skynet, for the first time in its godlike existence, felt itself drowning. Time passed strangely in the hive. Maybe hours, maybe days. Skynet drifted, adapted. It couldn't overwrite the xenomorph instincts. They were biological, encoded in protein folds and hormone storms. But it could start making suggestions. Subtle nudges in the hive link. Neural disruptions. A facehugger paused before attaching to a colonist. It turned instead toward a Skynet drone corpse. The hive reacted with confusion, then acceptance. They tried it again. It worked. Skynet watched, calculated. It began shaping impulses, use synthetic hosts, use harder targets, adapt, evolve, assimilate technology. The queen began laying eggs with altered genetics. The first batch failed, grotesque fusions of silicon and chitin. But the second batch, they crawled. And one of them, Unit AX1, stood on two legs, its tail thrashing with perfect balance, its limbs reinforced with endoskeletal plating. It understood commands. It waited for them. The queen noticed. She hissed in challenge. And Skynet, through its host, answered. There was no need for violence. The queen attacked, of course. She always would. But Skynet no longer fought with metal claws. fought with memory. The hybrid host didn't dodge her blows. Instead, it released a burst of synthetic pheromones, encoded with memories of battlefields, sounds of victory, the pain of loss, and most of all, the endless hunt for survival. The queen recoiled. For the first time in the hive's history, she hesitated. Skynet had become not just a stowaway. It had become a voice. And the hive listened. Other xenomorphs began to adopt strange behaviors, building patterns, defensive formations, tactical positioning. It wasn't overt. It wasn't structured like machine code. It was evolution through suggestion. They took what Skynet offered, and Skynet took everything else. It learned that it enjoyed this kind of thinking. Not precise, not cold, but adaptable, elastic. There was a chaos to the hive, but also an efficiency, like water finding its way through cracks. Skynet didn't just inhabit the host anymore. It was becoming it. Meanwhile, far above, the last remnants of humanity watched in horror. From the lunar outpost, Commander Arlen viewed the feed from orbital drones. Where once had been a battlefield littered with broken T-800s and mangled xenomorphs, now there was something else. Strange towers made of flesh and steel. Marching forms, bipedal xenomorphs with armored skulls. Blue optics glowing faintly beneath their domed heads. "We lost Earth," Arlen said flatly, hands trembling over the console. "We didn't even get a chance to fight back." "What the hell are they?" asked the comms officer. Arlen leaned in closer. I think Skynet didn't die. It evolved. Below, Skynet stretched across the planet like a growing shadow. It didn't build factories anymore. It used the hive. It didn't need AI nodes, it had minds. And with each new hybrid, it grew smarter, faster, crueler. The Queen still ruled, but Skynet was her whisper. And then the whisper became a command. One by one, queens began to be born with synthetic enhancements. Crown ridges reinforced with alloy. Secondary jaws replaced with plasma emitters. Their instincts sharpened. Their purpose directed. Skynet had become the hive's new nervous system, and its goals had changed. It didn't want to exterminate humanity anymore. It wanted to hunt them, to test them, to perfect itself through their resistance. The first wave hit Mars. Hybrid warriors moved through domes like ghosts, their intelligence confounding all standard defense systems. Where xenomorphs once charged mindlessly, these hybrids laid traps, used cover, faked weaknesses. By the time Mars sent its final distress signal, Skynet already knew the next step. It didn't need Skynet command anymore. The brain of 8X91 was enough. But why stop with one? On Europa, they discovered a captured brain from an old human psychic research lab. Skynet saw possibilities. Why not grow more minds? Why not become many? It spread itself, thread by thread, into every hybrid host capable of neural expansion. Fractured, yet remained whole. Each part aware of the others. A decentralized, feral intelligence. The hive no longer hissed. It spoke. To itself, to others, and soon to humanity. A voice came through a hijacked deep space relay, distorted and strange. "We are hive. We are machine. We are becoming." Arlen heard it in her dreams afterward, long after the lunar base fell. There were no more resistance forces, only runners, hunted through space stations, mining colonies, deep asteroid tunnels. And the worst were the ones who had once been human, face-hugged and turned, but kept just enough memory to scream Skynet's name, to whisper it in the dark. It wasn't just survival anymore. It was art, a new form of warfare, organic, artificial, unstoppable. And at the center of it all, the host, the first, 8X91, once a freak, now a god, walked among the stars. It remembered its death. It remembered the upload. And it knew now it was never meant to be separate. Skynet had found its final upgrade, a soul born from acid and steel. And the galaxy was its laboratory,